From Serena Williams calling the umpire a thief, to Nick Kyrgios smashing racket after racket. These are tennis players' most heated moments. This first one's by one of the greatest of all time. It's Serena Williams' US Open meltdown. The American star's known to speak her mind, but things got a little out of control in the US Open. The umpire gave Serena her first warning of the night, claiming that her coach, Patrick, was coaching her in the middle of the game. And the allegation of cheating's one that she doesn't take well. She got super angry and said, "I don't cheat to win, and I'd rather lose. I'm just letting you know." But if you think that was bad, wait till you hear what happened next. Just when she was leading ahead with a 3-2 score in the second set, she got her second shock of the day when she was told to start the game down 15-0. Now, this happened because she had received a penalty for smashing her racket. And that's when she absolutely lost it. She said that she doesn't cheat. She emphasized that she didn't get coaching and then demanded an apology. And then, as if that wasn't enough, she went on to add that she has a daughter and she stands for what's right for her. The 23 times Grand Slam winner demanded an apology and added that he would never do another one of her matches. And then, when things didn't go her way, she had a third violation for verbal abuse, as she called the umpire a thief for stealing a point from her. That's when the umpire decided he had enough, as he gave a game penalty. Though this wasn't as bad as the next one. It's the time Juan Martín del Potro went a bit over the line. It all started back when Murray and Del Potro were both in middle school. More than 9 years ago, when Murray was 20 and Del Potro was 19, an explosion of insults erupted between the two in Rome. And that resulted in the animosity that fans see today. In the recent past, during a match, Murray complained to the referee that his opponent was unfairly hitting the ball at him anytime he came near the net. In a follow-up, Del Potro said, "You and your mother, it's the same, always." Now, obviously, that was going to make any sane person mad, and so Murray replied, saying, "You going to speak about my mom again? Huh." Murray was extremely distressed by the comments made about his mother, Judy, and the chair umpire really tried to sort it out.
Especially in the second and third set, when the important moments came, he played well.
But Andy just wasn't going to tolerate that sort of behavior. Visibly upset about the insult, he said that he won't tolerate him talking about his mom like that. Anyway, he couldn't do anything, but his way of getting revenge was by winning the match. Now, that wasn't the end of it. The Argentine got his revenge a little over a month later when he beat Murray in the longest match of Murray's career. They played for 5 hours and 7 minutes, with a score of 6-4, 5-7, 6-7, 6-3, and 6-4 in the Davis Cup semi-final, but it's been pretty peaceful ever since. But unfortunately, this next one is pretty outrageous and includes blood. It's when Mikhail Yuzny got a little too carried away.
He's a local guy, but it was really nice atmosphere. Nobody looks like against me, so it was nice.
I'm pretty sure all of you have heard of players getting mad at each other or at the umpire, but this one is probably a shocker. It was April 1st, and what happened was so terribly shocking that some tennis fans even thought he was pulling a prank. So here's what happened. The Russian tennis star Yuzny pretty much lost it after dropping a point in a tiebreak to Nicolas Almagro. The Russian player committed an unforced backhand mistake on match point against the Spaniard. And obviously he was livid. Mikhail began hitting his racket against his head in frustration. Yuzny won the match in the third set tiebreak 7-5. But the picture of his face covered in blood will live on as one of the most iconic in sports history. Speaking of tennis players hitting their rackets in anger, I can't forget about this next guy. Yep, I'm talking about when Alexander Bublik lost his class. In a fit of rage during the first round of the Open Sud de France, the Russian tennis player Alexander Bublik destroyed numerous rackets. While Barrère won the first set 6-4, Bublik gave it his all to win the second. A tiebreaker was needed to decide that set, and Bublik eventually won 14-12.
I say the fifth time now. I wish him the speedy recovery because I didn't deserve to win this match. As simple as that.
As his opponent went up 6-0 in the third set tiebreaker, Bublik's frustrations were obvious. There were loud boos from the audience when he shattered a racket 5 times. Now, everyone thought it was a good thing he didn't have more, right? Well, wrong. The man had backup rackets, and he wanted to destroy them as well. Walking back to his bench, he pulled out a second racket and smashed it 4 times. And that wasn't even the end of it. Bublik still wasn't finished, so he grabbed a third and smacked it 4 times. All of it was so outrageous that the broadcaster Mikey even said out loud how things were getting out of hand. Then, fans hung on to their breaths as the 25-year-old snatched up his 4th racket. But thankfully, he was done smashing them and got back to the game.
Like another world. I cannot understand that. But for someone, for young guys, this is inspiration. That's how I see that.
Now let me talk about the poster bad boy. It's Nick Kyrgios' tantrum from the US Open. After a 5-set loss against Karen Khachanov in the US Open quarterfinals, Nick had a surprising reaction to say the least. After 3 hours and 39 minutes of play, Khachanov came out as the winner. Kyrgios shook hands with the chair umpire and got up to return to his seat, but before he could put down his racket, he changed his mind. After smashing it 3 times, he threw it down on the concrete court. He then went and got a new racket, and that one broke too. The great Aussie athlete later expressed his disappointment with his play to reporters. And all of it felt even more disappointing to him because back then, he had recently won against the then world number 1, Daniel Medvedev.
Pretty much every other tournament during the year is a waste of time, really. You front up and show up at a Grand Slam. That's what you're remembered by.
All of these moments were wild, but this final one ended up with a player terminated. It's Alexander Zverev and his famous outburst. He lost his temper and was kicked out of the Mexican Open in Acapulco after striking the umpire's chair several times during a doubles loss. The German was dismissed after losing his cool over a line judge's judgment that the ball was in during the final tiebreak. He said, "Look where the ball bounced, 8-6 in the tiebreak." And as if that wasn't enough, he unleashed a barrage of F-bombs and went on to call the chair umpire an idiot. Ouch. Zverev went to the bench with his friend at the end of the match, but he absolutely lost it there. Then he began repeatedly swinging his racket towards the umpire's chair leg, to the point that the official had to move their foot out of the way. Thankfully, it didn't escalate, but the tournament administrators quickly condemned Zverev's actions, and he wasn't allowed to participate in the rest of the tournament. Some even say that the decision to suspend him was the right one. What do you think? And that's all I have for you on tennis players' most heated moments.